Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to speak on the 2025 amendments to the Teacher Registration Bill. It's legislation that I absolutely believe marks a pivotal moment for education in the Northern Territory. Madam Speaker, these amendments show a government that takes teacher registration and child safety seriously, something that may come as a refreshing change for those of us who recall when registering a teacher seemed about as consistent as a fully functioning sprinkler system in the dry season under the previous Labor administration. This bill reaffirms our government's deep commitment to child safety, professional excellence and the future strength of our teacher workforce. At its core, this bill mandates the registration of all early childhood teachers by the end of 2026, strengthening child safety in the earliest, most formative years of education. By ensuring that every educator in early childhood settings meets stringent registration criteria, we are protecting our most vulnerable children from unqualified or unsuitable persons having access to childcare and learning environments. This move is not merely bureaucratic. It's fundamental to the duty we owe to every child entrusted in our schools and services. Beyond registration, the bill advances critical reforms, facilitating improved information sharing. The Teacher Registration Board will be empowered to exchange registration information across jurisdictions with relevant regulatory bodies if there is reasonable belief that it will prevent harm to a child. This addresses a troubling loophole highlighted by the Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse, which exposed how a lack of communication between teacher registration authorities allowed some individuals to evade scrutiny and moving between states and territories. Our amendments decisively close this gap, fostering a culture of transparency and rapid action to protect children no matter where they learn. Governance is also clarified and strengthened. The bill better defines the Minister's policy-setting powers and the Chief Executive's role in managing the TRB's performance, all while preserving the Board's independence in regulating the profession. This clear separation of powers and accountability ensures the Board operates with integrity and effectiveness, free from undue influence, while still being supported by the Department of Education and Training. Madam Speaker, it is important to know that national consistency is a guiding principle in these reforms. By aligning minimum qualifications, currency of practice and English language proficiency with the framework for teacher registration in Australia, the Northern Territory aligns itself fully with national standards. This framework, agreed upon by all education ministers in 2024, guarantees that our teachers are professionally equipped and culturally responsive to meet contemporary educational demands. Moreover, the bill introduces a two-way registration system, provisional and full registration. The system supports new graduates and those returning to teaching with structured supervised induction periods before granting full registration, ensuring that teachers are fully prepared to provide high-quality education from day one. This protects students and bolsters confidence in our teaching workforce. Importantly, the amendments modernise the language and inclusivity of our laws by replacing foreign languages with languages other than English, explicitly recognising Aboriginal languages as specialist subjects. This change facilitates employment authorities for unregistered persons teaching Aboriginal languages where registered teachers are unavailable or do not have the appropriate knowledge, supporting the cultural and linguistic richness of our region while providing pathways for Aboriginal educators to become fully registered under programs like the Remote Aboriginal Teacher Education, or RATE, as many people know it. Currently, Madam Speaker, approximately 5,500 teachers are registered, with over 200 unregistered but authorised to teach. This means that 4% of our teaching workforce operates under employment authorities, many of whom teach specialist subjects such as vocational education or Aboriginal languages. This bill removes outdated expiry limitations for these authorities, streamlining processes, reducing administrative burden, which many of you know is my favourite thing to do, and allowing authorities to be tailored to employment terms of up to 2 years. These changes promote flexibility without compromising the quality or safety of teaching. Child safety remains the absolute cornerstone of these reforms. It seems that previous efforts to safeguard our children and regulate our teachers were, shall we say, still in provisional registration mode. whereas this government is committed to full registration, full accountability and full protection. The legislation protects whistleblowers and encourages a culture where safeguarding students is paramount. The enhanced powers for the TRB to manage complaints, conduct investigations and share critical information ensure that those who seek to compromise our children will be identified and prevented from teaching. The Royal Commission's warnings about inconsistent information sharing are addressed squarely, reducing risk and enhancing protective oversight. Additionally, there are benefits for a closer relationship between the Department of Education and the TRB, with enhancements in the space of support and staffing services and the streamlining of processes and understanding the teacher workforce and existing support for teachers. The intent of preserving the independence of the TRB and the Director of the TRB with respect to their statutory roles in regulating the teaching profession. What we are attempting to do is to provide more clarity around the separation of powers. It's not changing anything specifically in the Act. It's making it obvious that there is a very clear separation between employees and the board under the PSEMA, as well as the roles and responsibilities of the CE and the Minister. Madam Speaker, these amendments align with minimum qualifications, currency of practice and English language proficiency requirements with the framework for teacher registration in Australia. As I stated earlier, the adoption of this framework was agreed by all education ministers in September 2024, and under these reforms, only early childhood teachers who meet the minimum requirements reflected in the framework will be eligible for registration. Finally, Madam Speaker, this bill is not just administrative reform. These amendments commit to this government's desire to cut red tape and reduce administrative burden for teachers and educational staff, honouring our government's promise to minimise administrative burdens on our frontline workers. For those that remember my maiden speech right here in this chamber, they'll remember my passion and commitment for reducing administrative burden to all of frontline staff, and it definitely includes teachers, school staff and staff in the Department of Education and Training. Efficient registration processes and clear regulatory expectations mean teachers can focus on what truly matters, educating our children in safe, supportive and inspiring environments. Madam Speaker, these amendments embody a comprehensive reform agenda. They deliver strong child safety measures, elevate professional standards, reconnect governance responsibilities with clear roles and foster inclusivity through recognition of Aboriginal languages and diverse teaching pathways. This bill is a robust framework that protects our children, supports our teachers and strengthens the backbone of education in the Northern Territory. It is a commitment to students, parents, carers and teachers across the Territory that education and child safety is a foundation for a strong, vibrant community. Madam Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.